I will never attend another game or Rams function as long as you're head coach, and I stand by that. I will always support my team. I'll go to my sports bar and watch the games from there, but I'm always pull for my Los Angeles Rams, and that's it. I mean, I'm done with him, and I have no vendetta against Jeff at all. If I had a real problem with him, I would tell him, and I would tell you. Jeff he's never done anything to me except this situation. Had the nerve to call me and tell me that they won't do anything to me. Like I told him, I'm not here with my hand out. I need the Rams for something.
Ooh, that was Eric Dickerson going off on Jeff Fisher yesterday after Fisher explained to Dickerson that players were uncomfortable with him being on the sideline after he disparaged them on his weekly radio show. So Fisher has been taking heat from all angles after another poor start to the season. But in an article for NFL.com, Rams COO Kevin Demoff says the Rams head coach deserves a break. Quote, everybody will want to judge Jeff just through the prism of the record, but that's totally unfair when you look at the set of circumstances he was handed this year. We moved coaches, players, and families to provide leadership and consistency. He has done a model job, Damian Woody. How we doing? We're going to start with you. We got to start with this guy.
I don't mean to laugh like that. They're coming to me first.
What do you make of this?
I got it. Put the camera on. Let me tell y'all something. First of all, could y'all do me a favor, please? I need us to put Kevin Demoff's picture up for America to see. You notice how the lines are in the video right there, in the footage right there?
Yeah.
It's a mugshot.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I'm quite sure Kevin Demoff is a very, very nice man. Okay, I went to an event in L.A., before the season began. The Los Angeles Rams are a class organization. I wish them nothing but the best. But put it back up. I'm not finished. Put it back up. I want America to see who this individual is. Who's the dude that just said that Jeff Fisher is doing a model job? I would like to ask Kevin Demoff this one simple question. Do you like your job? Are you looking forward to keeping your job? Does tenure, longevity, does that security, does that matter to you? How in God's name could you say something like this to the American people? How in God's name could you say something like that to the city of Los Angeles? We are talking about a Jeff Fisher who should have been fired years ago. 22 years in this profession. 15 times this man has missed the playoffs. He has not had a winning record since 2008 as a head coach. That's 6 consecutive years, 6 consecutive seasons, and counting of a losing record. 9 times in the last 11 years, this man has had a losing record. I didn't say make the playoffs. You notice I didn't say miss the playoffs. I said a losing record. This dude hasn't even had the decency to be above 500. This is who we're talking about here, Jeff Fisher. And you are Kevin Demoff, the COO. Chief Operating Officer of an organization that just relocated to Los Angeles from St. Louis, that wants the second largest city in the United States of America to come out and support your product. And this dude, who is synonymous with losing, Jeff Fisher, you're going to sit up there and actually have a quote attached to your name saying he did a model job? That's your definition of model? My God, this is horrible. Jeff Fisher should have been fired years ago, just like Marvin Lewis. And by the way, I've been saying Marvin Lewis should go. Marvin Lewis got a better record than him. At least Marvin Lewis went to the playoffs the last 5 years. Jeff Fisher hasn't been. I told you yesterday. Last time Jeff Fisher was in the playoffs, man, my hairline was here. I mean, this dude is garbage as a coach. I don't know him personally. All I know is the record. I don't know the nuances of what he's doing. The man needs to go.
All right, you know what?
Period.
Hold on. You know what? I'm going to defend Jeff Fisher.
You go ahead. I want to see. Oh, I want to hear this. I got nothing to say. Hold on, let me grab my seat for this. I want to see if you come up with an argument for this one. The floor is yours.
Just kidding. There's no defending Jeff Fisher. How can you defend this? You go and forget about the fact that you just get to L.A. You guys are from St. Louis. You're not from L.A. You get to L.A. and season 1, you do this to not only the greatest player in the history of your franchise, but also a Hall of Famer, and then deny that you did it. What are you thinking about? Now, in terms of, let's get past what Jeff Fisher did and then said. Demoff focused on this year. And he's selectively taking the evidence and narrow focusing on this year because they just moved and they needed leadership. I don't know what kind of leadership that is, but okay. They needed stability, whatever. They lost a lot. But what about all the other years that he was head coach? What about all those other years? You can't just ignore them. When we sometimes in the morning meeting talk about like which NFL coach should be on the hot seat or who has the hottest seat, we generally don't do that topic. And the reason we don't do that topic is it's so obvious who it is. It's almost like, who's the greatest player ever? Michael Jordan. Well, you might as well have who's the greatest non-Michael Jordan player ever? Now you can have a debate, right? I mean, it's like that. You can't even talk about whose seat should be the hottest in the NFL because there's no debate. You have to talk about who else other than Jeff Fisher. So I can't figure out a way to defend him here. And I agree with Stephen A. on this one.
Is there any oxygen left for me to talk? Because you guys throwing flames out there. I hope you guys aren't looking at me as the person who's going to defend Jeff Fisher.
No.
I've been one of the most ardent people against Jeff Fisher since I've been in the media. I mean, you've already talked about it. Listen, the man hasn't won a playoff game since my early years in the league in 2003. And he was 1-1, then lost to us in the divisional round. Since that point, he hasn't won a playoff game since. In a league where it's what have you done for me lately? Players, executives, front office people. You haven't had a winning season in 8 years? 8 years, man. 8 years. You haven't had.
He's about to get a contract extension.
How does he keep his job?
You know how many coaches have gone by the wayside in that many years? There's been plenty of coaches that's gone by the wayside in 8 years, but somehow this dude still has probably the best job security, maybe outside of Coach Belichick, of any coach that we've seen in the National Football League. Sometimes I wonder, does he have something on Stan Kroenke, the owner of the
That's what I mean. How does he keep his job?
Yesterday, just so you know, you weren't here. Yesterday, I said he got pictures on Kroenke or something. Something's up. This don't make any sense. I mean, 9 times in the last 11 years, you don't even have a winning record? We ain't talking about just missing the playoffs. He hasn't even registered a 500-plus record in the last 9 out of 11 years. He hasn't made the playoffs since 2008. And by the way, he's supposed to be building. This dude's got the security, etc. He hasn't done anything. He's got pictures on somebody somewhere. Something doesn't make any sense. Bill Plaschke, the whole crew out in L.A., you got to get rid of this dude. This dude has no business being a head football coach of a franchise. He has proven his ineptitude. He has had 22 years in this business. He has got to go. And for Kevin Demoff to be on the record, I mean, listen, I'm quite sure there's a lot of competent, good, smart people that work for the Los Angeles Rams organization. I'm not trying to cast any aspersions on them overall as an organization or personally. But this kid, Kevin Demoff, this man, Kevin Demoff, to attach such a quote to your name it's as egregious as it gets from an executive. Because basically what you're telling the city of Los Angeles, winning's no priority for us. Because if you could sit there and say Jeff Fisher is doing a model job, do you have any idea how insulting that is to the city of Los Angeles?
COO, are you generating those ideas, or are you the mouthpiece for the organization in that respect on a decision you're not
I got to believe that if you're the COO, you are in high enough of a ranking position where you do not have to have your name and your face attached to such an asinine quote.
Maybe he had low expectations, and they met those low expectations.
Here's a question I have for everyone here.
Sure.
We all know the NFL is a quarterback-driven league, correct? They traded a bunch of picks to move up to go get the kid Goff. Mm-hmm. The last quarterback that Jeff Fisher had developed was the late Steve McNair, and that's when the NFL was a whole different league.
That's right.
It's the league was a passing league at that time.
And some people thought he sabotaged Vince Young because he never really wanted him. And by the way, we don't know whether he's got a contract extension or not, because even though it was reported, it was never confirmed by the Los Angeles Rams as an organization or Jeff Fisher himself. Maybe he hid it from us on purpose because he knows that it would be an uproar if he announced that he actually got a contract extension.
Well, they managed to take all those draft picks they traded up to get Goff and not play golf and not develop him. And Nick Todd Gurley looked ordinary.
He has a record to look forward to. Two more losses, and he's tied for the most losses ever by a head coach.
It's coming to season. How many games left?
Next 3 games.
5 games left?
3 games.
He'll have it by the end of the month. He'll have it by the end of December. He'll be the losingest coach in NFL history, and Kevin Demoff is saying he's doing a model job. Shame, shame, shame.
Coming up, Is Colin Kaepernick back after a solid start on Sunday versus the Dolphins? Some are suggesting the Niners bring him back next season. So with all that he's brought to the table this season, would that be a good idea? Plus, Ezekiel Elliott has been beasting this season, leading the league in rushing by over 150 yards. So with the playoff spot seemingly on lock for the Cowboys, should they slow him down for the rest of the regular season? We get into it next.